You're joining us where we take some standard D&D subclasses and we figure out how to make them feel more leisure fantasy. You know, how do they fit in the world of Obojima or a Ghibli-like world? We are the writers of Obojima, which is a Studio Ghibli Legend of Zelda inspired D&D campaign setting. And we're starting with Clockwork Sorcery today. Whew. Let's figure out what this even means. Okay, the cosmic force of order. Oh no.
Whoa, we're talking Modrons
We are
now.
talking Modrons. Has suffused you with magic. The power arise from Mechanus and the realm like it. A plane of existence shaped entirely by clockwork efficiency. You or someone in your lineage might have become entangled in the mechanics of Modrons, the orderly beings who inhabit Mechanus. Perhaps the ancestry even took part in the Great Modron March. You are a rules follower, a clockwork nerd, if you will. This is interesting, right? This is based off of like in Obojima. In Obojima, but also similarly in like Japanese mythology, Studio Ghibli, Legend of Zelda. There's not many worlds, and there's not a realm of clockwork order.
There's no Mechanus.
There's not a god of law and efficiency.
There are no
doesn't
gods.
exist. And so I think for us, we need to figure out what represents something similar to this in Obojima, or a world like Obojima.
I mean, you could start with seasons. That if there is something like a cosmic clock, you know, that the sun rises and sets and the stars spin in the sky.
That's interesting.
Do something like that. He could also do something with, like, I'm thinking of other things that measure time as like heartbeats. You know, it could be having something to do with the heart and with like.
Yeah, there's heartbeats. There's like hourglasses and
tides,
right? The sun and moon, kind of representative of time in some way. That's interesting. So, okay, let's see. I think before we jump into it, let's see what we actually get.
Let's see some of what these powers are, and then
all right,
we'll start getting ideas from that.
So when you see a creature within 60 feet of you about to roll a d20 with advantage or disadvantage, you can use a reaction to prevent the roll. Okay, so prevent advantage or disadvantage.
So you're kind of like doing a little bit of mini time shifty time travel stuff.
Yeah, I guess it's time shifty, but it also feels like for some reason that doesn't even seem time-like. It seems more like I guess in order for like law and order would be like balancing. Like they're almost like you don't get, you know, it is right for you to like not be at a disadvantage or advantage. You are neutral. Yeah. Like they're almost returning things to neutral. Almost feels like what that is. Yeah. The Bastion of Laws, their 6th level ability. As a magic action, you can expend a sorcery point to ward yourself or another creature you can see within 30 feet. The ward represents a number of d8s equal to the number of sorcery points spent. When the warded creature takes damage, it can expend a number of those dice. Okay, so this is like a defensive shield that you summon around someone. And then Trance of Order. As a bonus action, you can enter a trance state for 1 minute. For the duration, attack rolls against you can't benefit from advantage. And whenever you make a d20 test, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower on the d20 as a 10. Once you use this feature, you can again. And then the last one is... Okay. A magic action, you summon the spirits in a 30-foot cube originating from you. The spirits look like Modrons. The spirits are intangible, invulnerable, and they create the effects below. You can either have them heal, repair, or dispel. So they heal creatures up to 100 hit points. They heal damage objects, or they repair damage objects, or they dispel spells of 6th level or lower.
Man, when I think about this in Obojima, I would flavor it with like tides in the moon.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, using the power of the ocean, the power of tides to move things, to move time. I don't know. What do you think?
I think there also could be I really wish I remembered the name because it'd make me feel cooler. But I don't remember the name of them. There is in Japan, there's a lot of symbols, usually little figurines or statues or stuff that represent something. They'll have representation of like luck or wishing or fortune.
That's gay.
What's the little? Well, there's a cat, right? There's like the lucky cat, but there's also the little heads that have one of. I guess you fill in the eyes. One of the things is what's missing an eye, and then you make a wish and you put the wish inside. And then when and I might be misremembering this, so someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a little head. You make a wish and you roll it up and you put it inside, and then you can't finish the other eye. The other eye's blank. You can't finish it until the wish has come true.
Interesting.
Alternatively, cool. I also bought one and it just had a fortune inside of it. So it was completed, but there was a fortune for me and I read it. And I think the reason I'm bringing it up is maybe this Clockwork Sorcerer could represent someone who has made a deal with or connected or has been gifted some spirit that represents neutrality or luck or fortune, like a representative of like a giant statue, like a giant doll that like you lands and it's like and it like appears to kind of bring an amount of order within itself, not necessarily like a mechanist style where it's like in Obojima there's beauty in asymmetry and not everything needs to be perfect and right, but like this thing is more about maybe like restoring balance when things are outlandish, in the sense that like someone's too lucky. You know, like I feel like it feels very biblical or proverb like for someone to be punished for being too lucky and maybe like selfish. Like you would imagine like there's a proverb about someone who won too much while gambling and they didn't give any to their parents, and so they were blinded and all of their money was taken. You know what I mean? Or like a spirit came and now whenever they speak to anyone but their parents, they hear like Plinko machines going off like really loud and they're driven crazy by it.
That's interesting.
Like that kind of stuff feels very like almost like spiritual cursing in a sense. And so maybe this thing, both in a positive and negative way, could represent like being neutral and keeping neutrality within the world. And this person, because all of these things aren't necessarily connected to time.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool. There's something neat in there. Is that something that's operating through the spirit realm? Or is this some other kind of, force? Like, is it a force in the physical realm, like a magic force? Or
I think it could be representative of a spirit, if we wanted to, like a elder spirit. It could also be its own force in the world.
Like what is like? Because I really love that idea of that there's a certain kind of balance and imbalance in this world in Obojima. And when things get tilted too much, something steps in.
I think there's this assumption that when there is a force like this, it is really big and all-powerful. But I also think it's really interesting that there's a force that tries to do this, but it's just one entity. Okay. And so it's like, it's not like this all-powerful, like Obojima feels encompassing.
Yeah.
The will of Obojima is everywhere. And people see it in their daily lives and all of these other things. The will of nature, I guess, is for people who aren't familiar with Obojima, but the will of nature is all-encompassing. This thing doesn't have to be all-encompassing. It could be that, like, a lot of people just aren't familiar with it. Or if they are familiar with it, it's like a toy or like a superstition. So like it doesn't manifest very often.
Would the sorcerer who has this, would they know it, or would they just be like, I just kind of know what's going on? And let's say if it's like an elder spirit, which is relatively small. Yeah. It's an individual spirit that kind of moves around, and it's doing something through this character. Does that character know that, I'm in contact with Magobo, the elder spirit of balance? Or are they just like...
It could be a thing where they might not understand. Like maybe this, like it said, it could have been bestowed upon them. It could have been bestowed upon one of their ancestors.
Yeah.
So like, it's a long time, couple hundred years ago.
This is a thing we do, son.
This is a thing we do. Or this is a thing that your great-great-grandfather did, but it hasn't manifested
Skipped
many
a
of
couple
us
generations.
for a long time. So it's like you're kind of disconnected from what it is. Another thing, which I think is kind of interesting, this is kind of tapping into how paladins function within Obojima, which is like this belief system in tenets and driving power through your like, you know, your faith in these tenets or the following of these tenets to like this extreme discipline.
Yeah.
It could be that people can like superstitions. There's power driven from superstition.
That's neat.
And so if these little figurines exist and it's a superstition that like this, you know, a shopkeeper keeps it in their shop because like when someone, you know, stinges them out and steals, or, you know, they don't get their fair share, not everyone gets fair share, this thing kind of rights those wrongs. And maybe that superstition's just believed enough that this entity exists and it's not a spirit. And it's not a demon, and it's not a god.
Yeah.
It's just the magic. Like magic exists within Obojima, and because so many people believe in the superstition, this entity has been created, and it's tiny. You know, maybe it's like the size of like a Totoro, right? Like so, it's like 7 feet or 8 feet tall, and it's this big wooden thing, and it doesn't speak. It just appears, and you hear like, you know, like some chimes, like, and it enacts this superstition.
That's cool. I mean, is it one thing, or is it that you have a bunch of different figurines and different figurines do different things?
I think you can kind of play with this however you really wanted to.
Because it could, you know, the thing of this subclass is it could be, okay, I'm connected to this elder spirit and I have certain abilities, or it could be, I've realized that there are these little figurines and each of them has a power, and I have to gather as many of those together as I can, and they're scattered all over Obojima, left here long ago.
I think if that's the case, then the figurines all need to have a corresponding, like they all need to represent the same type of thing. I think that's when you would imagine, oh, there's multiple figurines. Each one represents a different superstition. Yeah. And if that's the case, then it feels like it's pulling away from the Clockwork Sorcerer.
Okay.
So by having either all of them represent this kind of like neutrality and order, or just one of them represents that. And there's other superstitions that maybe exist that also have manifestations that represent different things.
Cool. Yeah, I think to stick it to the Clockwork Sorcerer, then the one entity or whatever, it's the one spirit.
It's kind of cool.
Would be the way they go. Yeah,
it's kind of cool. It's interesting to think that you're deriving power from an entity created from superstition.
That's cool.
It's kind of like is it Koatoa?
Yeah,
it's Koatoa that can do it. Yeah, right. Koatoa are fish people from D&D.
Yeah,
and they can manifest a god.
Yeah.
If they if they believe, or what is it? They dream.
Yeah.
No, the beholder's dream. Koatoa
just believe it.
Yeah.
They just believe it, baby.
If a shiny rock appeared in front of a Koatoa group, and they thought that rock was like the divine word of God, they would create a god based off of this religion that they're creating.
Yeah.
And then so it's something similar to that. There's so much belief in this manifestation, or of this superstition, which when it was done was probably fake. That it actually created this entity.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
It's cool. Yeah, there's legs there.
I think it's interesting. With that, let us know what you think.
What could this have been?
About this clockwork variation of the sorcerer.
Yeah. What kind of cool powers could it have?
Well, the power's right here. We're not making.
But don't we want to make other powers from that, or are we just going to stick right to those?
Well, I think we're just telling people how they can put the sorcerer in D&D or in Obojima.
Okay.
I know. Should we make our own version?
We should make our own version.
No, tell us what you think of that idea. What would the name of this entity be? Like of this like token like thing, this wooden statue character.
Yeah.
And also write down in the comments the thing that I'm thinking of, the Japanese little guy. That'd be great.
It's a wrap up.
And also in the comments, because now I'm in it, right? Might as well just keep on asking questions, putting in some things there. Let us know what you want us to do next. Which subclass do you want to see Obojima-fied? Discord, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Music, That's where you can find us. You can also buy the book on Obojima.com, the PDF on Obojima.com, and D&D Beyond and Alchemy. So check us out on all those places. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we will catch you next time. See ya.